The first question then is there a business plan for the cafe proposals, and can we see it please?
Well, when the legal outcome is more certain, the Malvern Hills Conservators will make their plans available to the public.
Okay.
We've commissioned a study that will bring ideas for the buildings for public consultation, and we're also undertaking a carbon energy audit of the building. And before any manager is appointed as part of the interview process, the applicants will have to produce a business plan.
Okay. If the cafe makes a loss, which is possible, how will it be paid for?
Well, when the business plan is prepared, the potential will become very much clearer. It won't be intended for it to make a loss, and performance will be continuously monitored.
Do the Conservatives think it would be a good use of local taxpayers' money if they have to end up supporting the cafe?
Well, the Conservatives have to look at the long-term benefits of their assets, and a fresh approach to the management of St Anne's Well will confer both benefits to the town as well as the visitors to the hills. St Anne's Well has the potential to be a much greater asset to all of the community.
Can we see the results of any public consultation, and if there was no public consultation, who came up with the idea?
Well, because of the nature of the legal process, we're not able to enter into consultation on the future of St Anne's Well until we have an outcome, and then it will all be revealed.
Okay. Will the public objection to the removal of the current proprietor have any effect on the Conservatives' plans?
This has been answered later in a question by Jackie Carey, so can I refer you to that?
Okay, thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. Peter McNally.
Yeah, the Conservatives' website refers to the difference between visitors' needs and commercial needs. Can you tell me what the distinction is, please?
Well, we recognise that to offer a service to all the community may require a different approach than the present approach. We intend to work with the community and users to see how we can maximise the potential of the cafe and yet to widen its appeal. And Ruth McNally.
How can you justify turning out the present tenant from both his job and his home when no funding for the changes has been secured? Presumably with no funding there can be no changes.
Well, the capital funds, we have a capital fund that can be used to fund capital improvements, and grants can be applied for when actual plans have been prepared, but not before. And I'll point out the capital funds, just to make it quite clear to everybody. Capital funds are monies that have been obtained from developments such as the Townsend Way development in the 1990s and way leaves from other new developments. The money obtained this way can only be used for capital expenditure such as St Anne's Well. I have a question from Mr. M.G. Taylor. That is a more serious question.
Yeah, can the Conservatives explain why there is no mention of the well in last week's 12-page Gazette supplement, given its importance to Malvern's heritage and their future plans?
Well, we felt it was not appropriate as actual plans had not yet been prepared, and it was just a celebration of 125 years.
But surely, the well has some part in Conservatives' future plans and is great importance generally.
Well, if you stick to the questions. So.
Okay. Do any plans for St Anne's Well exist, and if so, when were they initially proposed and who specifically proposed them?
The Conservatives do have an outline of facts and possibilities, but no firm plans have been produced.
So, well, my question 2-1, if there are plans, what are they exactly? You don't have any plans.
That's the same answer, really.
You don't have plans. Okay. So if there are no specific plans, why does Beverly Nielsen refer to exciting plans in her letter to the Gazette, Conservatives' view?
Well, Beverly Nielsen is on the St Anne's Well Working Party that is looking into options and keeping up to date on the responses from those who have written in. The exciting plans are, as yet, in the form of ideas.
So they are, you mean they aren't plans, essentially?
Yes,
That deserves a round of applause.
Ideas, vision.
Fantasy.
Fantasy. Is tourism within the remit of the Conservatives' mandate?
Yes, the Acts do recognise suitable provision to meet the convenience and requirements of the public in light of present-day circumstances. In the forward strategy, the Conservatives agreed to work in partnership with the town and for the benefits of Malvern, and this is obviously one way of doing it.
Well, I'm very confused because Mr. Rowett did say in the minutes that Conservatives Access and Information Committee meeting on the 31st of the 8th of 2006, referring to point 3.1, that it is not in the Conservative mandate. So I'm confused. Could you perhaps clarify the contradiction between those two positions?
Yeah, the Director did indeed say tourism was not a remit. However, that did not mean that initiatives such as the Walking Festival and other related initiatives could not be supported. The Malvern Hills receive over 1 million visits a year, and our duty is to keep the land as open space and manage and provide for the visitors that come to enjoy the hills.
Okay, well, do the Conservatives plan to close the well, or do the Conservatives plan to close the well during any development, and for how long?
During any alterations to the building, the facilities to the public would, as so far as health and safety allow, would remain open.
But, I mean, for how long, specifically? How long, since you have plans, how long will it take you to, do the development? Something about that. You don't have any idea?
Until you've got the plans, you don't know. Well, until we have the plans, the final plans, we can't say, but our intention is that it will not be closed.
Okay, well, it seems to contradict what you said earlier, I have to say. There we are. How much have the Conservatives calculated that the proposed project will cost the taxpayer? What is the budget exactly, with or without grant funding?
The budget has not been finalised until the extent of the work is known. There will be no increase in levy to fund the project. The money will come from capital funds and from grants.
Reports minutes show that difficulty in obtaining funding and permissions for the restoration work of St Anne's Gardens led to the project taking 6 years, and as a consequence, cost overrun of 22k occurred. What assurance can the Conservatives give that this will not happen again with the proposed development?
The Heritage Lottery project was under the direction of the AONB partnership. Many HLF projects do overrun their time. And again, there was no extra cost to the levy payer, except very limited amounts for garden maintenance, which came out of his existing budgets.
In detail, how is it proposed to provide disabled access to the Octagon Room?
Preliminary discussions have taken place with the Conservation Officer of Malvern Hills District Council, and when detailed plans are brought forward, then we're confident that together a solution will be found.
Like what?
That really doesn't answer my question, I have to say. It's, in detail, how is it proposed to provide disabled access? That doesn't answer it.
It has been discussed at this moment.
I'd like to make that objection. Why is it necessary to remove Mr. Redman and destroy his business in order to build the plans? Well, they don't seem to exist, but why is it necessary to remove Mr. Redman and destroy his business?
Well, sorry to say,
since the plans don't even exist.
Well, because of legal procedure, we cannot discuss this at this time.
Really?
It will all come clear in time.
Well, I know Mr. Redman waives his right to any...
There is no legal case at the moment.
Yeah, you've only served an order. There is no legal case
that you could interfere.
It isn't a matter of confidentiality. It is the advice from our solicitor that it could be prejudicial.
To who? Why is it necessary to... What are the breaches of the lease conditions that Mr. Redman has supposedly committed, given that he waives his right to confidentiality to allow this question to be answered?
Well, this is really advice from the solicitor that we are not able to say this at this stage. This will become into the public domain eventually.
So evict someone for no reason and then put some...
No, he will find out with the solicitor.
Okay. Which legislation